You wanted to speak with me? Moore spoke genially, but his eyes continued to glint like steel. Gordon gritted his teeth. How he'd love to remove Ollie Moore from the employment books. Every other worker in this factory kowtowed to him. But this one wore arrogance like a shield. He'd disliked Moore the moment he'd entered Gordon's office, his hat in his hand, but his shoulders set bold and square, as if his being hired was a right rather than a privilege. Gordon had wanted to refuse to hire the man, but the owner, Fulton Dinsmore, had specifically recommended Moore, his first time to intrude upon Gordon's hiring process. Consequently, he didn't dare axe Moore. But he could make the worker's life so difficult he chose to find another place to work. Then old man Dinsmore couldn't hold Gordon accountable. One of the overnight workers came in drunk and lost his supper in the melting room. Go mop up the mess. He paused, waiting for the man to blanch. He didn't. Gordon swallowed a curse. When you're done there, grease the conveyor belt cogs. Moore angled his head to the side. I greased those cogs yesterday. He glanced down at his tan breeches, as if the grease smudges on his thighs were a badge. Gordon pasted on his fiercest scowl. Their infernal squeak gives me a headache. Do it again, and this time do it right. He barked the command, puffing out his chest with as much pomposity as he could gather. Then mop the candy-making floor and scrub the sorting tables. I walked through there this morning and found caramel stuck everywhere. An exaggeration. He'd found a tiny smudge of caramel on the leg of one table. A slight frown marred Moore's brow, the first hint that Gordon might be breaking through his seemingly impenetrable control. The night shift janitor scrubs the tables because they're never empty during the day. They are during the sorter's lunch break. Moore's frown deepened. My lunch break's the same time as the sorter's. Gordon came close to chortling. He'd finally managed to ruffle the man's feathers. Take your lunch at a different time. Cleaning those tables is more important than filling your stomach. Folding his arms across his chest, Gordon offered a sardonic smirk. Unless, of course, you'd rather arrange your own schedule at some other factory. I'll get it done. Moore turned and headed for the janitor closet. Gordon watched him go, then shifted his gaze to the bustling factory floor. He smiled. None of the workers dawdled at their duties or huddled in groups to gossip. Even the youngest children scurried to and fro, intent on their tasks. A few of them glanced in his direction, as if seeking approval, but he offered none. No one had ever thrown him as much as a breadcrumb when he was a boy. Why should they have more than he'd been given? Satisfied all was well, he turned toward the wooden stairway leading to his loft office. As much as he liked his office, with its observation window looking out over the main work floor, he abhorred climbing those stairs. It was always hot in the factory, thanks to the constantly bubbling vats of chocolate and steam-powered generators. So mounting the stairs, 18 of them in all, made him sweat. He hated sweating. If he desired exercise, he'd take a meandering walk through the park at dusk with a lovely girl clinging to his elbow. Until 2 weeks ago, he'd used the company elevator rather than the stairs. He neared the elevator and veered clear of it without conscious thought. An image filled his mind. Bratcher's crumpled form at the bottom of the shaft. Gordon shivered even as perspiration broke out across his forehead. The man had been a nuisance, pestering Gordon to change the factory's entry age for workers from 10 years to 16. On more than one occasion, Gordon had wished Bratcher would shut up and go away. But he hadn't wished him dead. Gordon set aside thoughts of Bratcher. He was dead and gone. His aspirations